and then 2 melee assassins and a Paco.
Okay, and it looks like what was it? Non-consensual healing.
Yep.
Uncle Robotnik is on the Margrave, Darkstain on Uncle Sven, Cheerful on Gnosis, Wild Gunner on HK, and Udai San on Amani. This looks like a pretty standard comp for Sanctum Falls.
Yeah, you've got two high DPS range characters. You've got two engages, and then you've got a Sven to back up whoever needs it. Most likely, Sven's going to be following Uncle Robotnik in to provide healing for him and Sheerful on that Gnosis. Gnosis
And
is
also
naturally
also
not
the bounce
tanky.
pad
Yeah,
bounce pads for the wounds.
the bounce pads. Actually, that's an interesting point. The bounce pad not going to come into effect for Team Vortex. That's who we're looking at. Not going to come into effect for them. So it's going to be a little bit harder for Vortex to go get. Although they do have a double assassin comp, so they are pretty able to stick on that Amani. And since pretty much every Wu takes longer tongue, he should be able to pick her off of her perches in the clash.
Yeah, the longer tongue is really strong whenever it comes to a competitive environment. It looks like they're going to opt out of not fighting for D point. They're going to go into instead.
That's a strategy I actually like to employ where I see an Amani on the other team, I'm like, they can have D. Because any good Amani, we're not gonna win that. She's just gonna sit there and poke you down, and her team's gonna kill you. So you take that E
Exactly.
point where she is like doomed if she's there, especially against a Wu, and you can just sit and you can aggress on that D, or you can send your two assassins to go take out that Amani.
Yep, exactly. And it looks like they tried to get a little bit of damage in, but I don't know if that was Mozu getting caught or if it was trying to open up F for more damage. They're
Um,
gonna, this is what they're looking for. They want to try and rotate over, but looks like
yeah,
heal's not giving them that opportunity to.
yeah, they're just gonna stick here because they know they can't aggress on D. So this is the only spot they can be to get to an objective. And if they just stick in this hallway, like or near the end of it, oh, that was a good freeze to deter Margrave. Although he wasn't really able to do much anyway, just given that the only backup he had was HK. Warpriest kind of seeming to have some of those positional issues where she's playing farther up than she needs to be. I'll be interested to see how her positioning changes throughout the game, and also if she gets picked off by that Amani, if she lets that
Yeah.
happen.
So this might actually be a really good stun, disengaging that Margrave off of the Wu. But this is another issue where I see that Team Vortex could potentially lose these fights because they're not running the set like kind of like I guess you would say meta comps for competitive play. They're trying something new, trying it different, and this could it could end up being bad for Vortex, but at the same time, this could also be an upside.
Yeah,
We're
and
getting dangerously low right there.
giving giving Vortex some credit, they have been pulling out things that aren't exactly what you would consider standard for competitive. And while it hasn't exactly worked out, I get the idea behind what they're doing, and I love seeing variation. I hate seeing like when metas stagnate and you have two of like the exact same strategies going on. I have no idea how it picks the winner of that. I'm not sure if it's a coin toss or what, but it looks like Vortex will be getting the first push, a lot easier one to get onto than any subsequent ones
When
pre-clash.
it comes to it, whoever hits like 80 or 90 first will be the one to win the push. When it comes to like straight up draws like that, there could be a coin toss, but I believe it could be another thing. Looks like Wu and somebody else was trying to pressure D while
Yeah, they
no one.
they chose to not go for that wound, which was probably the better idea. Amani just has to turn around 180 degrees and start laying shots into the enemy team, especially if they take she should be about level 3 by now. Most likely taking either 2 points in her right click, her zoom shot, or the special ammo where she can get a lot of focus and a lot of area damage with the fire. But there's
Really
a
good stun from Paco. Prevented the backline from following up on the Margrave.
Yeah,
War
unfortunately, War
Priest.
Priest caught out again. Been having that problem rather consistently, and that's going to lead to some aggression onto E. They might be able to take this if they win the fight. Zeus getting low, Makani also low. Excellent freeze. Going to use the teleport. It does cost some of your health. It does cost a lot of health though to go down that way.
Yeah,
But
about 500 health. It's about half or a quarter of your life, depending on what kind of character you're playing. But they have to let go of that E point. This is a
they're not
huge lead for
gonna.
them. This is a huge lead for Heal because they were able to get that creature as well as the pick on War Priest. They're trying to
That
follow up.
is
Margrave is really low.
HK Focus does take out the Margrave, and this is going to be some pretty good aggression if they can get it onto F, I believe. Yes,
Yeah,
F.
they need to rotate over to F. They actually got a couple more picks besides the Margrave.
Yeah. Oh, it
They
looks
got the
like
HK as well, and then they're getting the Gnosis right here. This
the
should
missed snowball drops that kill. Unfortunately, not able to pressure properly is Vortex, but they are. Oh, they're gonna go for D, but it's not gonna turn out like they wanted it to. Wu's gonna get picked off,
this
and
is a lot of damage that he was taking, as well
yeah,
as the Margrave folks to lock him down, securing that kill. This is another push for them
yeah. Paco
or for heal.
Paco
Is that
unfortunately gets taken out. That's and they take out Mozu again. Mozu just not having a good time, and there's the Gnosis focus. Trip and HK having to retreat back to their.
almost misses that jump?
Oh man, yeah, and it looks like this is gonna be an easy wound for Heal. Heal bringing out just like solid play overall. They are getting caught out a little bit. Good stun onto Sven, but the pool's gonna knock him away. Gonna freeze
Trying
on
to
the
get the
Margrave, and
focus.
that's actually did not actually land it. Going
He
to
he dodged to cancel the focus
ah,
to get
there
an
we go.
opportunity like that. Only hits one person though. He
Yeah,
tried to get the Margrave at the last end of it.
there he's gonna go for
Pain.
the cheeky snipe, but I don't know if he's gonna get it. Oh,
Does he?
he gets the
Really
stun.
good stun.
He gets the
Even though he,
stun.
even though he missed that, that was really good. And
Oh man, this could it was oh wow, it was a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Vortex, and it looks like they're gonna take out the Cyclops, getting a 50 to 30 power advantage. That
yeah,
Amani just kind of laying shots into everybody, hitting Paco pretty hard.
Heal Team Heal had the advantage because they rotated over to C, giving them a lead at first, but then they were able to get those couple picks as well as take out D to secure them another lead. Looks like they're going to try and summon E again while Heal summons up D.
Yeah. Looks like they're gonna pop a Cyclops on D. One of the better creatures you can have there because it puts a wall up kind of near. I don't have a good way to show you, but it puts it up in a really inconvenient spot, blocking off a lot of traffic into that E point from the enemy. And it looks like
Yeah,
they want to go for this wound, like just to get an advantage because they are pretty low on their own health bar, but it might not be a safe decision, but it might be the one that they need to make.
they're gonna have to force this to try and get any sort of lead. They're trying to get ready for this right now.
And
They
it's gonna be
Because they don't have that balance puddle, they're not going to be able to get as much time on it as possible. They waited too long.
yeah, they really needed like Trip and Wu up there instantly. Unfortunately, Necro gets taken out, and that's going to be a good amount of shield. Paco focusing on this Amani. Amani's just going to jump over and be able to move and lay shots into whoever's on that wound, which was actually nobody by the end of it.
This is what I feel like with Team Vortex's comp. They should have all went in for that.
Yeah.
Even though if they would have died, if all of them would have died, they would have had more damage on that wound. They're trying to get as much kills as possible. War Priest.
Realistically, while Paco just kind of gets gets hosed here. Oh, they do manage to take out Gnosis. Probably gonna take out
You got the
Margrave
heal
too.
orb to keep him alive.
Oh man, that's how clutch that can be. He does expend his focus. He does kind of waste it there, but he does escape with his life, putting them at only a 10 power disadvantage. But really, like with this double assassin comp that they love to run, or that they've run twice so far, they're not. It doesn't seem like they're putting enough pressure on the easier targets. Although they did actually get a money, so I'm just wrong. Uh, they're up
That was a
50, up 50
really
to
good pick
50.
from them.
Yeah, that's kind of something they need to keep doing. Is just like pressure out Amani. They've got basically an extra person to get her down from her perch and like force her out and force like the 5v4 or the 4v4 that would work in their advantage. Good stun.
Really good, son.
Oh, that was a good stun, and that'll be. Oh, they're still aggressing on this.
The
Poison
creature's not
snow
summoned, and
out.
the more enemies that stand on it, it makes it really slower. Yep,
Yeah, and it
they're
looks
gonna
like
push them
Paco.
out.
Yeah, Paco
That's
gets
another
taken
kill.
out. Mozu laying a lot of damage into Nasus, able to take
It's
him
a
out.
99 shield. Anybody can get this at this point.
And it looks like
They're backing out. They're not
Sven
going to
is
go
super
for it.
low. It looks like he should go down. Proper target selection is necessary. There we go. They get
Good
it.
job. There you go. Really good on Team Vortex. It looked like that heal was going to get that, but they were lucky enough to get a couple picks.
The one problem is that they are facing a full shield. So in where the Guardian is all the way in the back, so it won't really be able to. They don't have great access to the wound, so it's just going to be almost a reset, just kind of a
Yeah,
wash.
even if they were to go for the wound, they would just get poked down really hard for range, and it wouldn't be worth the risk.
Yeah, they would lose 2, 3 people easily, depending on the focuses that the other team has. Looks like Mozu and Trip and Wu are just going to be pressuring around that mid section between E and F actually.
So I see something that I actually do not agree with on Vortex's team is the upgraded creature on C. Stormdrake, I don't I don't feel that that's the best pick. Honestly, a Cerberus would have been a lot stronger there.
A Serb, a Serb is definitely good. As far as like understanding creature placement, that's sort of one of my weak points. So why is a Stormdrake not as good as a Cerberus in that situation?
In that situation, C would be able to during Clash and pre-Clash because of how they're set up right now. The Cerberus would be able to see. I'm pointing on my screen like you can see, but they would be able to see the rotations if they decide to hang over at D and try and push for that C point or anything else. When it comes like the Storm Drake, even though it's really strong, the it's really easy to take out in a group. Of course, no one can. Of course, it's really hard to solo, but even with Sven and their armor crack, they could easily take out that Storm Drake.
Okay. Yeah. And luckily, it is in a position where, unless it bugs out, Imani uh, won't really have eyes on it. So that does take away a lot of their. It does take away a lot of their damage on a creature because she can just pop shots at it from really, really far away. That's why she excels on that D point. She can just be up on that ledge and popping shots into the D pit and just taking out an opened up creature.
Why is
Looks
there
like
HK over? Why is the Vortex's HK over at the C point?
That's a very good question. I'm not really sure, but it looks like
The fight's about to break out. They got
they
a pick right there.
yeah they pick off Trip. They pick off Makani on that Trip, and Zeus is low, but is gonna recover. War Priest a little healthier. Looks like Necro is gonna set up and just kind of deter them, opting for that shield pick. One of the stronger paths really like, or I would give the edge to that path on HK in most situations because you're able to fortify and then just kind of lay some damage in and not have to take all of your health.
As well as the debuff or the CC immunity that you get from that upgrade, the spin knockback, HK stun, Gnosis, interrupt and knock up.
Yeah, it means you can't get pulled by a Woo, you can't get knocked up or pulled by Margrave, can't get knocked up by really anything. That CC immunity just becomes so valuable, especially in like a CC heavy comp. Now, admittedly, if you do stay there, you're probably going to get killed, but at least you won't get pulled or plucked or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like there's 3 people getting on the woo. They luckily get the push for it, but they
They
are going to get the full shield.
That was
So they can't.
excellent freeze, but not a lot of follow up coming from Vortex.
Two
Oh, it looks
stun.
like
It was
Trip's gonna come around. Woo's dead for this, and War Priest is just getting chunked down too by that
yeah.
Amani.
Heal
Uh,
has the number advantage. Only
that
gets a focus
is
on one person. Just trying
that
to
was
pull that.
a questionable focus at best.
They were just trying to keep pressure away from the trip because the trip would have died.
Yeah,
Rather rather than have like someone at full health be able to um get a kill, full health person and a half health person, because that Gnosis was around half health.
Robotnik just like going super ham, eating most of his health for it, but is gonna get out okay and recover. He's gonna recover just fine on what is probably a bloomer on that G point.
And here we go into the clash rotation right now. Trying to get a stun, trying to keep him as busy as possible from not going on the Cerberus.
Oh, and FB unfortunately uses his escape and gets interrupted, I believe. Just
Yep, gets in.
unable to get out of there.
This will
But
be a good. This will be a well enough trade for them if they're able to kill this. Looks like Vortex does. They back off the Cerberus,
but they
so
do
this
get
is
War Priest in return, so it is even, and they are at the numbers advantage, able to go on this Stormdrake on C. Necro laying some shots, just able to get out so much damage right there. Wild Gunner on the HK really low. Looks like they do pick off that trip. Unfortunately, they also take out the Woo, and again, Vortex just kind of ends up falling, unable to really finish what they start.
Yeah, this is where they need everybody, especially with Vortex's team comp. They need everybody to be able to go into this fight, and looks like Margrave tries to do some damage, but
He
ends up getting
eats,
messed up by that Stormdrake.
yeah, he eats most of his health in return. Still the power advantage in favor of heal. That was almost a cheeky little snowball throw. Wouldn't have done much, but it would have been pretty fun to see. Just hiding behind this Stormdrake is Paco. And their HK is just laying out shots, and it looks like there's going to be a fight on E. Paco going in, freezing one and freezing Sven.
They don't have the numbers that
No.
Vortex doesn't have the number advantage. They need to back out of this fight. Just trying to get pressure off.
They do successfully stop the attack on the creature, but they are still at that disadvantage and are going to eat that rampage. It's good freeze on Gnosis, but it does use FB's escape, laying down the ice path, and he's probably going to go down. He does go down. And it's going to be an auto wound. That is an unfortunate... I've done that. I've done that so many times where you focus someone and you think you're going to get them, and they just move behind a wall.
That's why I don't...
Feels bad.
That's why I don't play ranged.
Oh, that's
they were able to get
the main thing.
They were actually able to get the shield to be able to protect and make sure it's not an auto win, but it looks like a couple of people trying to go in. It's just the Sven, it looked like.
Yeah, Sven kind of up there, not where he needs to be, and they are able to take him out, and that gives them...
Everybody's showing up a little too late for this fight.
Oh, that's gonna... Oh,
unfortunately, he gets stopped by the Margrave.
That feels so bad when that happens. Your channel, that focus channels for so long, just not able to get it off.
Doesn't, unfortunately, get the stick.
Just a couple of things going wrong, dropping that kill. It happens to the best of us. FB at half life, getting pegged by Adamani, just eating so much damage.
This could be one of those games where we see that we actually go into no one really going to go for wounds. This is what it's looking like right now. They're just all going to wait out the power, and then just once it gets really low enough for them on that last wound, that's when they'll go for it.
Yeah, that as Almighty has pointed out, this is something that happens very frequently in a lot of games that I play. This actually is looking more like a like solo, like a couple of duo queues queuing against like a three man, like a two, and a one against like a three and a two, basically in terms of cohesion. And you're seeing that they're not really going for much. They're not taking a lot of risks. They're just making these really questionable plays that don't end up working out particularly well. And that happens on both sides, actually.
Yeah. Or like we've seen a couple of times where someone has had a team has had a substantial lead, but then unfortunately ends up throwing it away, like pushing a little too hard, biting off a little more than they can chew.
Yeah, getting a little too aggressive, not being as calculating as they need to be. Yeah,
There's the push right there.
there's the auto
This is
wound.
good.
Still, like we've been at three wounds or three wounds. We've been at three wounds for the entire match, and we're like 15 minutes in or something.
Exactly. They try. Heel tried to go in for a little bit during their first push, but wasn't. Just came up a little bit short.
Yeah, they've
This is
been
going to be the
sitting.
guaranteed auto.
Vortex has been sitting at that health for a while. Finally, our first real lead of the game right here. Everyone's approaching max level, so everyone's going to have all their talents. Oh, this could be really good for Vortex if more of them were there. They needed a slightly earlier rotation to make the most of that.
Amani's just doing what she can over at H, where you normally see her.
Yeah, she's just sitting there popping shots into people whenever she can. She doesn't even have to be in every fight. If she lands, one or two shots on a key target, it's like having any other DPS there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Paco does reflect his focus back to, or stun back to him.
That was also unfortunate. It looks like the enemy Margrave did in fact take the extended charge range and the cleanse, which is a really good choice against a Paco with all of the crowd control he has, all of the soft CC he has.
And most likely Sven will be running a CC immunity build.
Yeah. That against the Paco, that really shuts him down. The only thing he can really do, which FB is spec'd out of, unfortunately, is his knockup. So as soon as the freeze comes out, or any of Paco's freezes come out, then Sven can pop that healing pool and whoever's cheeky little stun right there. But Sven can pop his CC immunity on whoever's getting hit.
Exactly. It looks like they're gonna try and force the fights over to A, but ends up going running the other way. A was at half health whenever they rotated over, unfortunately, but is this where unfortunately the HK does get picked off by the Amani.
Yeah, it looks like it's a 1-for-1 trade so far, and still in favor of Heel. Not by too much, thankfully, but Necro does get picked off as well as the Amani. They trade out each other. So I have to ask, have you played much Paco?
I played a little bit of Paco.
Okay. What do you think of the choice to go the rolling snowball instead of the knockup?
I couldn't personally tell you because I usually run the running snowball.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the Paco does go down when you were asking me that. They're going to get this. This is going to be a 90-90 tie. Oh, nope, unfortunately, they were able to get the orb as well on E.
Yeah, they were able to just take that right out from under Vortex. And it looks like Heel probably won't be going super hard for this. They're just going to take the damage advantage and leave it. Oh, it looks like they are circling around. They might use this as an opportunity to put some damage onto A. Gnosis running around. They got
yeah, they're not going to worry about the wound, right? It looks like actually as soon as I say that.
Well, this is just this is a cluster. So many things are happening right now.
Looks like Heel is. No,
like
unfortunately they fall short.
And that was the freeze on Sven. Wow, it's a 3-for-2 so far. Imani picking off Paco in the end. That's
Necromancy going a little too aggressive here.
Yeah, they really want to open up that F and get that advantage. That is
and
that was awful. That feels so bad.
Biting off more than they can chew, like I was saying.
Oh, but Makani does get a good trade It looks like 8 seconds left on 3 members of Vortex. 12 seconds left on 1 member of Heal. Looks like he's going a more damage-oriented build with, with a Mozu and an HK and a Trip. You wouldn't think you would ever need to go damage on Paco, but they just have not had the secure that they've really been looking for, dropping a number of these kills.
A little extra damage potential would never hurt. Paco, if they avoid the Amani, honestly, Paco should be able to be tanky enough just to be able to take whatever damage they can dish out. They want to try and avoid fighting in the open as much as possible.
Yeah, fighting in the open against an Amani and an HK. Although this HK has been really like low to the ground and just been sort of throwing out mortars every now and again. He may have taken the daze on his right mouse button, so making him more of like a skirmish oriented instead of like a long range poke oriented
Yeah,
type
exactly.
of character. Unfortunately, Mozu does not really thrive in this situation. There's a lot of corners that she can get her attacks canceled by, but there's also a lot of open space between her and her enemies that she can't attack in, because her damage does in fact fall off. It just won't hit anything past a certain range.
The reason why Mozo is usually like a low tier pick when it comes to competitive picks or competitive play is the fact that she has to be really mid range to be able to. She has to put herself in danger essentially to be able to get the most out of her damage.
She
And
does
with
go
her
ahead,
mobility
sorry.
being, oh, you're fine. With how low her mobility is, it doesn't make her a real safe pick.
And this fight up at D is just going every which way, and it's just going to be a 1-for-1 trade with, I believe, Wu getting picked off somewhere else by likely the Amani. Yeah, it looks like, and that's going to be the auto 1 to 3. Read the wounds right now, and
They need to try and go a little bit more. Malin needs to go a little more aggressive on this fight. It seems like he is playing a little too passive, rather than trying to fight.
part of the problem
Or
is that he's not had all the follow up that he needs. Like, his team has just been slightly out of position. They have had kind of slow rotations most of the time, and like when they get into fighting, they have decent target
this is a pick
selection.
on Nasus,
Oh,
really good.
that's hopefully. No, they drop the kill due to just no real follow up. Their team is sort of split in what they're trying to do, and I think a lot of that comes down to communication.
Yeah, this is the biggest issue with having. This is we're seeing it again. I feel like on Vortex's end. I almost said War Priest, but this isn't. This is not her fault at all. Um, but you see that discommunication between Vortex. Matlin wants to try and engage the fights that he should be engaging, but unfortunately, every time he does go in, either their team is faster to the enemy team is faster to follow up, or his team ends up backing out of the fight.
And it looks like they get a 2-for-2 trade there. Not too bad, still even in power. Monty laying shots into Necro. Nas is getting out with just like a sliver of health. It seems to happen every time he's somewhere. He gets out with just like a couple of basic attacks of health. It looks like Necro and Amani are just going to fight it out range style. One of those boring things to watch. If you're just watching that, or if you're doing it, it's kind of boring because you're just kind of spamming left mouse button the whole time.
Uncle Rubeck trying to engage a fight on War Priest,
Yeah,
but
War Priest on top of that, in that like window for D. I'm not sure. I've not tried it myself, so I don't know exactly if the range works out for Mozu there. But you only have a certain range in that area that you can hit. I'm not even sure if you can hit the F point with her bolts.
And Amani Trip doing what she can to try and pressure that Amani, but it's not enough. Looks like everybody, the front line for heel
Oh,
coming in.
that was a real disappointing focus. Not FB's fault. He gets gored and knocked up. He gets interrupted in the middle of it, and it always feels bad to see that because if he gets it off, it's going to be huge. But
Necro actually got a pick
oh
on their
wow,
HK as well,
yeah.
giving them the push. This is going to be an auto as long as nobody dies, but it looks like Trip is in danger right now.
Sometimes HK can just deal a surprising amount of damage, and other HKs will get too cocky. They will be like, "Oh, I'll win this," and you just took the right talents to make it so that you win that trade.
Exactly.
And there's the auto 1-2. Vortex trying to even up the score. It's a slow burn right now, but they're not out of this game by any means.
Yeah, it's still anyone's game at this point. As long as whatever gave them that push that first time for the first win for Team Vortex, they need to continue to do this.
It's like some
They're trying
pressure
to get
on
a fight
E.
over.
This could be a really good team fight and I was gonna say Vortex, but it could still be. That's a lot of focus
That
on
was,
Amasis. He's
that was
not
only
getting
a
out
rank one
now.
focus. They get one kill. It looks like they're trying to get a little bit more.
They should
That,
get they do get HK. That is a 2-for-0 trade in favor of Vortex, or maybe it's a
two
two
for
for
two for
one.
one.
Yeah,
2 for 1.
the pixely makes it hard.
Right.
But yeah, it's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Vortex, and they'll be able to heal up at this bloomer. Not worry too much, although Imani laying some good shots into everybody. Gets the stun. That was impressive. And they get the kill off of it. That's what they needed. This is
Really
what
good
they
job
need.
on them. Yeah, as long as Trip and HK can continue to apply that pressure on Amani, then I feel like this is Vortex's best time to come back.
Yeah, and there you can see like their positioning is getting a little bit better. They're not getting picked out as much. I'm not really sure what Wu is doing most of the time, but really, as long as he doesn't die in most of these engagements, he's doing okay.
Unfortunately, tries to get that on Amani but misses.
And it happens all the time. But Necro just laying in some shots to people. He's trying to build that focus. That HK focus can be so impactful in these team fights, especially if it's really crowded and you can get like a 2 or 3 focus ability off. It lays waste to people.
Exactly. They should have. I feel like they should have. Vortex should be applying more pressure to those creatures, but every opportunity they get, they just either go somewhere else or they block it off. The safer bets would have been to start trying to go for these creatures.
So they've been bringing out the style I was kind of talking about before, where they're going for these really particular engagements where they're really good at turning a fight kind of on its head when you think, and as I say that, FB just gets deleted. But in general, they've been good about. They do get the rampage though, so they only lose FB. They do get the rampage. It'll take about half of the health bar out. Looks like Necro's going to be able to lay enough damage in to dissuade Uncle Robotnik from. Oh, and Uncle Robotnik gets pulled. Is going to get focused.
That's a good pull on Wu.
That was a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Vortex, and this is exactly what they need to do to bring.
And it looks like Vortex is collapsing on this wound. This could be the opportunity.
They're going to take this wound. Looks like FB's going to protect.
They should be chasing. They should be chasing kills right now. Just go for the wound. There you go.
And unfortunately, a whiffed focus, but they do have a huge advantage able to take out the Sven. They're going to probably just want.
They could rotate over to H right now. H would be the safer bet.
Looks like
it's too risky.
Paco does get killed by the Cerberus, unfortunately.
They took too much. Paco actually took way too much Guardian damage right there.
Yeah, he ate a little too much, a little more than he needed to. Necro just I don't know where he was the first part of the game, but he's showing up now. He's just able to take out, just pump damage into these targets.
Yeah, doing what they can. This is still an opportunity that they can come in. It's a 40-40 tie. Both teams still have their full shields.
The the creature advantage does go the way of heal slightly with that creature on D. Most likely it is an obelisk. Okay, so it doesn't provide them that much of an advantage.
What will actually break this right now, if they were able to stall this into just like power orb power rather than getting kills or anything, G would actually give them give heal the push rather than H. And it looks like they're trying to interrupt it right now. They missed the interrupt on it. Gets a really good stun. Trying to get more out of it, but unfortunately it's not enough.
Yeah.
But like I was saying earlier, because if they stall this out to only getting power orbs, good stun.
That was an excellent stun. Unfortunately, not quite able to follow up enough. Gonna heal up with that Sven, but got him really low. Heal almost looks like they're kind of falling apart a little bit. Paco,
and it looks like
being the aggressor, gonna try, does not land the snowball.
But they're also low. The team is actually really far behind. They're not able to keep up with this. Gets the focus.
Isn't able to finish it off, and the wall blocks everything. Looks like Necro is gonna get picked most likely, and that's gonna put the advantage in favor of Heal. And
Heal is actually gonna get this push. That's two people down.
That was a straight overcommit.
It was actually worth it for them to continue to pressure like that. They would have gotten 2 kills out of it. That would have given Team Heal or Vortex the push if they were able to get both of those people. Madeline himself got HK and Sven really low. If he had some follow-up by the assassin, he actually would have been able to get the kill.
Yeah, and any of the damage that they had, if they could just have followed there, might have spelled the end of the game in favor of
that was
Vortex.
Really good defense on Team
Excellent
Vortex.
Defense. That was
they're gonna go for this creature right now. 30 power lead.
That was the ace. They are gonna get a huge power lead off of this, and this is why you can never ever count a team out in Clash.
And that's an A. They actually picked off the Uncle Sven. HK was able to get it. They can actually go for H right now. This is going to give them a 50-0 shield.
And there it is. H goes down in like 2 seconds, and they are at such a huge advantage right now. They're going to end up 70-20 in just a second. They get 1 pick and 1 orb, and they are just going to destroy that wound.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those. This is their opportunity to come back right now, it looks like. They just want to play passively. They don't want to do anything too aggressive, or else they're going to throw their lead. But if they continue to play like this, Paco does have his focus. So if they try and force anything, like they're trying to do right now...
Yeah, Robotnik going in, like he's been doing all game. Going to focus him out. Oh, he's dead.
Wu-Tung into the focus.
Oh, that might have been overkill, but really, I guess nothing's overkill at this point. 140 lead, that's half or more of...
They don't need to be pushing. They don't need to be pushing like this. If they play passively, stay healthy for this wound, they could win the game right here.
They do end up getting Gnosis, setting them at a now 11-second respawn time, giving a 7-second buffer for that wound. Oh, unfortunately, Paco does get picked off, but if
does give them a 50 shield.
Oh no.
They're up in 2 seconds. Only one person got focused by that Uncle Sven.
They can send
doing what they can.
This is not going well. Makani's too low. Wu gets picked off. Makani's the only one left.
If they just run,
oh no,
that's the ace right there. And this is the same thing. That's what Vortex did to Heal. Heal is going to be doing the same thing, except they're going for the Storm Drake first. This could stall them out for a little more time. Robotnik looks like he is going for the Bloomer as well as the Gnosis.
They've got 12 seconds on their respawn, and it is just... That is heartbreaking right there. You see the team that is behind the whole match is going to swing it and end it, and they just end up not being able to. They lose 2 of their creatures. They lose their big Storm Drake. All they've got is a Cerberus left. A 40 power deficit, and they are just... This is hard. This is
This
a
is
really
gonna
hard one.
this is gonna force Team Vortex into this is gonna have to force Team Vortex into a position that actually was put into, or that Vortex actually put into Heel's hands.
20 to 60 and barely any health on each of the Guardians. Now, Vortex can in fact turn this with one really big team fight. The problem being, if Heal are smart, they're not going to force anything. They're just going to sit back and turtle. They have the power advantage by such a gross amount that there's almost nothing Vortex can do but force one more big fight.
Yeah, they're gonna try and make a desperate push right here to get this is a 90 shield. They're trying to get it right here. This will put them up to 60. They won't be able to do much. I think Trip used her focus for that last one. Yep, 60 to 90. This is only a 30 shield deficit, but still, Vortex has really low health. They're not gonna. It will take a sneeze unless they get a full shield.
No, and that is going to be the end. It's going to take, unless by some miracle they get an ace here, which is probably not going to happen, I would say. Does get the focus off onto Margrave, but all they need is one person to just go over and pop like one or two shots on that Guardian, and they'll have it. And
Yeah, this is.
Paco goes down. Necro's doing what he can, but is unable to really do much of anything against that. And that's the game. Vortex, unfortunately, at the end, isn't able to seal the deal, but it is well fought by both teams.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely want to give credit to Vortex right there. They did so well trying to make a comeback, and they were actually making it there. But unfortunately, it shows like what can happen in Clash. One small misplay can lose your opportunity for that game.
Yeah, they unfortunately had just a few too many dropped kills here and there. Not enough follow up on that with that Paco. FB doing a pretty good job on that Paco. He's able to get some good freezes off every now and again. He got some really good snowballs. He was able to chase down, but there just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough like synergy with the team to be able to all move in at once.
And also what could